Hello and welcome to our newest video. Today I would like to talk about make your own tobacco. You see, you might like cigarettes, but you find them a tad too expensive. In that case, one of the options you could choose is make your own tobacco. Make your own tobacco is taxed in a more friendly manner, it's cheaper, and of course, we have outsourced the actual manufacturing of cigarette to, well, you. You need three things, well, in German, three things for make your own. You need your make your own tobacco, you need your empty cigarette tubes, like so, and you need some sort of maker or tubing machine. I'll cover them one by one. Let's start with the tobacco itself. Here we differentiate in our company between 4 different tobaccos that we use for make your own. I go through one by one. The first one we call the classic cut. See, beautiful long fibers. It feels nice. It is cut at 0.5 millimeters, so it's quite fine if you look at the single fiber, and very long, and it has a moisture of say 17%, which is quite moist. The next tobacco we could use for tubing is a bit different. See, the fibers are a bit shorter and they're cut wider. If you check out here, they are actually cut at 0.7 millimeter and they're a bit drier than the previous one. Okay, so roughly 15% of moisture in this one. So it feels a bit more spiky in your hands. It's not that nice and moist as the other one. So this one, being drier, it tubes really well, but it's really useless if you run out of these empty tubes and you want to use your tobacco to roll. The first one, because it's moist and thinly cut like a bowl of spaghetti almost, easy to roll your own. With that, difficult with this one. The next one is even more extreme. The fibers are quite short. They actually, you almost can pour it out of that bucket here. Yeah. So if you measure, they are like 1 millimeter, and it's a special tobacco because it's expanded. This was a tobacco blend that was cut at 0.8 millimeter, but then it was subjected to the process of dry ice expansion. So basically the tobacco is cut, it's infused with liquid carbon dioxide, and then it's expanded, almost a bit like popcorn if you want to. So super fluffy, even drier than the other tobacco, and has enormous filling power. So compared from this side to this side, you need even less tobacco to fill one of these empty cigarette tubes. But of course, you need less tobacco, but the cigarette really burns fast. You get more cigarettes out of it, but it is a bit of a shorter pleasure. And then we have a tobacco that in a way sits between those two. We call it hybrid. So it's 50% of tobacco like this, and 50% of this dry ice expanded tobacco, and this is the hybrid. It's okay for filling, and its filling power and the number of cigarettes you can get out of 100 grams sits here in the middle between those two tobaccos. Okay, beautiful. And if you look at the fibers, you can see you have that dry ice expanded tobacco in there, and you have normal fibers just like here. And one way you can always spot that dry ice expanded tobacco or dye it, the fibers look white, they're quite pale in color, and they have a structure which is a bit like zigzag. It's not straight fibers, it's a zigzag, and sometimes you find these funny holes in there, and you can always tell this is one that was expanded. Next thing we of course need are these empty cigarette tubes. There's different specifications available. So you always have the paper and you have a section which is the actual filter. And finally, of course, you need your tubing machine or cigarette maker. Now you've got these simple plastic numbers you normally get for next to nothing in the shop. Or like if you want to be a bit faster, you've got this triple machine. Not my preference. I like the proper metal, heavy, lever operated. It's beautiful. But the working principle is always roughly the same. You've got a chamber that you fill with the tobacco, You compress the tobacco, you fit the cigarette tube on the side, and then make that motion. And you've got this metal tongue that pushes the tobacco inside the empty tube, like so. And then you repeat, open, and you've got a finished cigarette. Let me make one for you. I choose, of course, being an older semester, the classic cut. So we take our tobacco, and we try to spread it evenly across the chamber. Normally they come with these little implements. You can compress it slightly, but not too much. You want just the right amount. Get your tube, insert it evenly, with a bit of love. And now you make the movement. And you end up with a cigarette. Knock it on the table so it sinks in. Any surface tobacco you can snip off, put back in the box, use later. And there you have your finished product. One word of caution, there's another type of maker. If even this maker is too much work for you, there's these automatic machines. They're electric, they make cigarettes really quickly, but you have to remember, don't use these tobaccos for the automatic makers. You use only that pure expanded tobacco or volume tobacco. The others are too long in fiber and they are too moist. And then the machine will congest and you get ugly cigarettes out of it. So automatic maker, only the volume tobacco. That will be it. I'll talk about the function of the filter in another video. Thank you.